Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today, for your pleasure, I'm playing the Type 90B, and this is, for all intents and purposes, just a difference in name. Because stat-wise, armor-wise, ammunition, gun handling, etc.-wise, mobility-wise, this is a copy-paste tank to the original Type 90, which was the first super main battle tank in War Thunder, at least in my opinion. You will see a game compilation just highlighting the strength and weaknesses of this tank. But, the tank is only as good as the meta allows it to be. And that means that you only have to rely on your skill is just not a recipe for overwhelming success. That brings you only so far. So you could argue that this tank is just a good addition to the lineup, and with the backups that you can get via either Golden Eagles or the War Bonds, etc., this is another backup of very much the same tank. And why not? It's good, and it's quick, has a good gun, autoloader, you don't even need the expert qualification, and at the end of the day, it costs you only a mere 400,000 RP for a battle rating 10.0 tank. But there are also dark sides in the gameplay experience. Look at this. I hear another tank. I just had an incredible run. And what the hell was that? What the hell was that? That was without warning. This was just a sudden packet loss peak without any warning, and it was not on my end. But anyways, next match. So, the thing about this tank is that it is really quick. So the horsepower to ton ratio is just under 30. 1,500 horsepower strong engine propels the 51.6 ton tank to a top speed of 73 kilometers per hour. That is incredible, and you actually see it. And the transmission allows you to go back 34 kilometers per hour, which is also really nice. Then the other statistics are nice as well, because you have a 5-second autoloader, which is incredibly helpful because you don't need a good crew. You also save yourself the 1.03 million silver line for the expert crew qualification. And that is really nice. The rest of the statistics is then that you have a 30 degrees per second turret traverse for an ace crew. But here on this tank, without any sort of crew qualification, it's only 2/3 of that, 21 degrees per second. But this is down because, I cheaped a little bit out. Then we also have the gun elevation speed, which is 4 degrees per second. That is really slow, and it caught me very often off guard. And again, it's for an ace crew. Here it is 2.8 degrees per second. That is not a lot. So other tanks have up to 20-30 degrees per second gun elevation speed. Then there is the gun depression, -7 and +10 degrees. That is limiting as well. Then we have the armor. Well, the lower plate has practically no armor, the turret ring is big, gun breach area is huge, and from the side the hull is also pretty weak. You only have 3 crew members, so you die very quickly to any sort of incoming damage. Other than this, it's your typical main battle tank at top tier, right? And it also comes with the good and the bad sides about it. So first of all, the ammunition. Again, this is just a rundown of the Type 90. So you have the JM12A1 Heat FS round, 1140 meters per second muzzle velocity for the Type 90 L44 cannon, or your Rheinmetall L44. And it has 480 millimeters of penetration. That's good enough for side shots, but for frontal armor penetration, you have to bypass here the strong points like the ear protection, like the composite armor, and then go for either the lower plate shots or just go for, like every other tank, the gun breach. And so you have a tank that is fitting the meta. The problem is the stock grind, because the JM33 APFSDS, which has 481 millimeters of penetration, 1640 meters per second muzzle velocity, and positive normalization, is a tier 4 upgrade. That really sucks. That is bad. The night vision device is nice, but it helps you only so far. So that is a description of this tank. Now the question is obviously, should you spend your life on trying to get it? Again, it costs you 400,000 RP. And then you have a stock tank that you basically try to grind with the other predecessor that is exactly the same. I think that it is for if you're an absolute fan of the Japanese tech tree and you want to have everything, then there is reason to go with it, because this then will either go into folder in the long run when we see the successor to it, or, which is more likely, that Gaijin leaves it there for like a year or so and then puts it into a folder to just make the grind even more longer than it already is. And this is top tier. There are people that absolutely like it, but there are people like me that don't like it. I could talk so much about the small maps where it's just high tier Call of Duty. That point of criticism hasn't changed in, I don't know, a year, 2 years by now. Yeah, it's been a while. So the thing is, the maps are bad, the objectives are bad, the overall meta is extremely quick. But there is one other factor that the lower tiers don't really have as a problem compared to high tier tanks, and that is the fact that from right the start of the match, somebody that just took out his wallet and threw it at Gaijin can purchase himself something like this. A premium helicopter, aka the KA-50. And that in every single game is a threat. And in every second game, this was the main source of my death. You can already see that this is just creating a lot of stale standoffs between the teams, and if you don't have a SAM, if you don't have already aircraft in the air, such a thing is absolutely lethal. If you want to make a play, if you want to just flank, if you just want to go for the objective, you're going to die. And this is where then the small teams that you have are really worried about getting blapped from somewhere where they can't even see the enemy helicopter because it's not even rendered. There are so many fundamental issues I cannot describe, and you really want to spend your life in grinding 400,000 RP to just enjoy this broken meta? I don't really recommend it. No. The tank is nice, it looks cool, I absolutely love the camouflage and how this modern main battle tanks look. Across the board, they are really fantastic to look at. But in War Thunder, they play out really dreadful. And I tried to hold back on it, right? I tried to really get a good game, but it just was not doable. It was just not the case for me to get a better game than this one. And you will see how this will develop over the course of this battle. Now look at the position that I'm in. This is the dream position. I create a crossfire. The enemy team, if they want to push for the objective, which now the rest of my team is contesting and actually capturing, they just have to go through and then they get simply blapped, right? And look at this guy. He just took way too long to realize that I'm here, and that was a pretty lucky to bounce here a shot. But this is a dream position, right? So now we have the position, and now 2 mistakes will get made in the course of the rest of the remaining battle time by my team. And that is, now they want to win harder. Now they just want to push the enemy back into their spawn and just obliterate them. Not right at the moment, but look, there is no reason for this Type 90 to go around the corner and to just simply expose himself into what I only can describe as a channel or a corridor. So this is one of those situations where you just can't let the enemy come at you. I know that this is not the most dynamic gameplay, but it's very efficient, and it's just downright to experience to just execute the enemies. We have the advantage. We can wait them out. We therefore, if we are patient, get the rather easy kills rather than throwing our tanks at the enemy. And if they camp, they either have to let us win the game or they have to come out. This is the advantage of being in charge of the objective. That's the sole reason for having an objective, not just for the Silverline and RP game. So now my team is moving on. They get overconfident because they now have, as you can see in the kill feed, an advantage. And I actually now get the loader and the track on this enemy tank. Then I disable his gun breach, and then I just rock a little bit forward to get the last enemy crew members. Beautiful. That's just beautiful, right? This is where experience and tactics and all those things come together and you get rewarded for it. And now, look behind me. A gets decapped. So I just mark it for my team. Then I look around me. And then I have nothing better to do than to just observe, and there they are. I pop some smoke grenades, and then I want to turn around. And this is where then the driving model gets absolutely nuts, because if you're slow, it's so sluggish out of nowhere, right? I whiffed the shot, and that was bad gameplay on my behalf. So I'm pressing further, really aggressively, and I kill this guy by just blasting through the turret outright for the premium XM1 GM, and then we get a beautiful second strike on this guy. And now I have to really be careful so that I don't lose this position. I hope that the enemy team is not aware that I went out of there, if they are aware of me being there in the first place, which is quite confusing if you try to think about it. Now A is free to take, and I just wait. I just wait, drop an artillery strike to just mark them for the rest of my team, and somebody else can get the juicy RP and silver lines. I have to defend this position. It's so critical. But now, look at the rest of my team. First of all, they get spawn canned by somebody in B1. As you can see on the minimap, he is highlighted. He is just not really caring about the success of his team, etc. He just is interested in spawn killing. Then there is also KA-50. And now my team is absolutely frightened. They try to stay in cover. They really try to just... Oh boy, this is so bad to observe, and there is no real support for me. It only takes one shot to get rid of me, right? Or, you know, one in the gun breach, and then they push forwards, and there is just nobody really, aside from this Begleitpanzer Syphon 50, to create a crossfire. And on the other side of the cap, there is also nobody, so the enemy team has an easy time to just, you know, fight back. Finally, that XM1 GM, a premium tank, got destroyed on the cap by a tow. So, patiently we have to wait. And now I try to support again my team member here. And yeah, he got just killed by an M1A1, and I hear him already. I hear him, and I just patiently wait. And again, I'm then a bit more in cover from the rear due to the slope, how it is formed. And I just wait and wait and wait and wait. And he takes his sweet time, right? Artillery strikes coming down. And there he is. And he whiffs his shot, and I have all the time in the world, and here I make a critical mistake. A brutal mistake. A stupid mistake. I didn't go for the gun breach, and I hit the wrong pixel. Yeah, that was top tier experience. And then I get shot in the back. Oh boy. What a great fun. And now, who's my support? Where is my support? Why is my support? And yeah, the back end of those Western MBTs, it's awful. It's awful. And now I can extinguish the fire for the second time, which is so good. And this guy doesn't even see me, but you know, such a long repair time of 40 seconds, it's awful. 40 seconds is way too long. And again, it could be shorter if I would have just invested 1,000,000 silver lines into the crew expert qualification. And now you can see on the kill messages that the enemy team strikes back. I had this position. It was so glorious. You know, 15 seconds to go, and now I get killed. And my team just left me. That is top tier experience in this tank. Type 90B. It had a good start, and then all the stuff that you have to experience at top tier comes in, and I'm not really willing to spend my time on this tank. It's not the mistake of the tank, it's just a mistake of Gaijin and War Thunder. Again, like with so many tanks. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. And we'll see each other on the waves in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.